it's still going on. Friday, February 16th. And DeJohn and 224 are picking up right where they left off last night. That's 224 at 10:47 a.m. They just refuse to stop harassing me. Two-two-four been making racket for 6 solid days now in a row. And DeJohn has been here for 6 days in a row. It just doesn't stop. She will not stop. That's been going on for a half an hour. It's a little after 6 p.m. They treat this building that we share like it's their own personal property. They treat my apartment like it's their own personal property. They treat me like shit. No respect. no consideration. They treat me like their own personal property. .224 is doing what it does every day. Making racket. It's 6:55. So why has DeJohnny been given license to break the lease? Bombard my apartment with racket day after day, disrupt and ruin my life? That's the question here. She's been given license, she's been given privilege to break the lease. To my detriment. I have the right to have the lease enforced. They don't have the right to break the lease. And management and the property owner do not have the right to give her that privilege. Any more than they have a right to take my right to have the lease enforced away from me. My God. 7:05 p.m. You know, why should they restrain themselves? Of course, I do. I don't need someone to tell me when to restrain obnoxious behavior. I'll do it of my own volition. But these people have no conscience. They have no empathy for others. They have no ethics. So they require someone who has legal authority over them, like the landlord, to stop this obnoxious behavior. And regardless of my months and months of complaining about this racket from 224, just over the last 9 or 10 months, despite that, the racket continues. My complaints have been to the landlord and to the owner. And they have put no restraints on these horrible people at all. Or if they tried to, they didn't succeed. Which means they're breaking the lease habitually and repeatedly and deserve to be evicted. Or to have their lease discontinued. That's all they have to do. Give them a 30-day notice to move the hell out for repeated lease violations over the last 10 months. But they refuse to enforce the lease. To my detriment. When they refuse to enforce the lease, I am harmed. I am harmed by the people in 224, Dejane and her cohorts, mainly her boyfriend, and I'm harmed by management's malicious refusal to enforce the lease that protects me from this insanity. If you wanted them back on the premises, which you shouldn't have wanted in the first place, because of their disgusting, despicable history at Park Palace Apartments, they have 8 years of complaints against them. 8 years of complaints. That is a horrible history. And if you wanted these lease-breaking assholes back into your property, you should have put them someplace else. And then another neighbor could have spent 8 years complaining about them. Well, what they're doing tonight is what is known as oscillating racket. They will make like 10 seconds of intense racket, maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds, but not long enough for me to grab my camera and record it. And then as soon as I start recording, they stop, the racket stops. And then as soon as I stop recording, it will start again. Oscillating racket. Wonderful. They just did it again. Making racket loud enough for me to want to record it, so of course I can prove it and have a record of it. And then not doing it long enough for me to grab my camera and start recording. Well, it's another goddamn fight. This is the third one I've recorded in a week, in 6 days. And when I say fight, I mean argument. A yelling argument. 10:18 p.m. They've been making racket, I think, since 1:30 this afternoon. It's been off and on until about 6. But this is the worst that it's gotten tonight. And it's gotten pretty bad, but it's fluctuated. My God. And this is how they don't always do it this way. Sometimes it's this loud all the time. This is not uncommon, where they just get louder and louder through the night. And then after 10 p.m. they just blast my apartment. Oh my God. It's 11:11 p.m. They've been doing it for 5 hours now. According to the lease, we are supposed to not be able to hear anything after 10 p.m. It is supposed to be completely silent. Not that that matters, because these people don't care, the management don't care. The owner doesn't care. And this is the beginning of President's Day weekend. So I am in for a horrible, horrible weekend. Anyway, I want to make these short because the last video I posted to YouTube is pretty long. So this is just an update. This is what's going on the same day that I'm uploading my other video. It'll just keep on going, driving me crazy, making me sick. I'm gonna have to take some sleeping pills to get to sleep tonight, which I've had to do for the last 6 nights. Since the last 6 days, 7 days they've been here making racket. Every time they come over here, I can't sleep. And I told management this, I told the owner this. Anyway, time for my sleeping pill. I hope to post this tomorrow. Well, my obnoxious, horrible neighbors just turned up their music again. It's 11:20, still on Friday. Oh God. February 16th, 2024. And now I think that the fan, or I think it's my defroster, is interfering with the recording. Anyway, the reason why all the footage is the ceiling, that's what that is. It's just the ceiling. Is that I have the camera pointed at the ceiling, hoping that it'll capture the racket better. Years ago, when this was going on for 6 years, 2.5 years ago when this was going on for 6 years, God, I used to have a little step ladder. Actually, I still have the step ladder, and I used to get up on a step ladder and put the camera right up to the ceiling. I mean, just inches away from it. But I don't want to do that anymore. I don't even want to record this shit. I'm spending my whole life recording evidence of these people's lease violations that are driving me insane. And I'm tired of it. I have all this evidence and it doesn't do me any good. I don't know how many times I hear people say, oh, be sure and write everything down. Be sure and take notes of what's going on. Be sure and document everything. Well, why? 8 years of documentation of these people's harassment of me, and it hasn't resulted in anything. It's still going on. Cops won't listen to me. The management won't listen to me. I've notified the news media. They won't listen to me. So what's the point? Well, I keep doing it like a good citizen. All right. I took my sleeping pill. I'm staying awake, letting it take effect. I'm so tired. I can't sleep. I can barely eat. I can barely function. The reason why I need these videos to go viral is because I am left completely defenseless. I have absolutely no one to advocate for me, to represent me in this mess. I am being taken advantage of. I am being abused by the owner, by the management, and by my neighbors up in 224. I need the news media to get a hold of this. I need lawyers to hear this. So, the lawyers are so I can sue the hell out of them. My apartment has been unlivable for 7 of the last 8 years. And they do, the management and the owner do not respond to my emails whatsoever. Not in writing, not in emails, not in telephone calls. They completely ignore my distress. they completely ignore the lease. They completely ignore the hell I've been going through because of these people. So 224 is abusing me. Management and the owner are neglecting me. Criminally, I might add. And as a result, I am suffering emotional and physical harm because of these people. I am defenseless. I have absolutely no defense against this. So that's why I'm posting these videos onto YouTube, in the hopes that I might find some sort of justice. 8 years of hell is too much. So anything you guys can do you YouTubers can do to get these videos viral, to get them to the attention of the news media, because it's probably through the news media that any lawyers might be exposed to this. So it's all in the hands of the news media, actually. So spread this video to your friends and spread it to the news media. This must stop. I'm having a nervous breakdown. I cannot function because of this insanity. Help me.